Hey folks, welcome to week 2 of EDMT 545. The first thing that I would like to show you is on the announcements page. We only have one announcement. We will probably only ever have one announcement, but it is showing you my office hours. Technically, my office hours are Tuesday, Wednesdays, and Thursdays, 10 to 12. You can find my office right here. And MEP 277, and then also here is the Zoom link to access my office hours. Most of you are working or teaching during that time, so if the 10 to 12 time frame does not work for you, that is perfectly okay. Let me know what does. I can meet in the evenings, the mornings, the weekend. Just let me know what works best for you, and I will make it happen. Now let's jump into our modules. So you have completed all of Module 1. You have looked into the lecture materials, you've read, you've watched the video, you have reflected and submitted that. You have taken part in the class discussion. You have submitted your classroom application, and you're finished. Good job. So the next thing that we are going to be looking at is planning for your social studies classroom. And I personally love the part of planning. Some of our personalities go for planning a little bit more. Some of them are more of a let's wing it and see what happens. And amazing things can happen, but in the beginning of our careers, we want to make sure that we really are being very purposeful in planning. And quite honestly, throughout your career, you want to make sure that you are giving your lessons the proper time to be able to reflect over them and think on them, write some things out, find the best resources so you are presenting your best self and your best lesson to your students. So we are going to dive into planning. We're going to look at the idea of traditional planning. We're going to look at the concept of backward planning, but it is important before you go into a school or before you have a discussion that you understand some of the lingo that goes around planning. So you can see right here, this is the video that you are watching right now, our objectives, and you can see the rhythm is just like Module 1. You're going to take part in the lecture materials, you're going to submit a reflection, you're going to participate in a discussion, and then you're going to engage in a classroom application activity. So I am going to go back up to modules and look at the lecture materials. For this week, you're going to read Chapter 2. Paying particular attention to the value of planning, curriculum planning, and different forms of units. Next, you are going to watch this presentation. It's Best Practices in Social Studies with Joe Schmidt. It is from the state of Maine, but I liked it enough, and they are talking about things that is applicable to our learning this week that I've included it. They do not go into many Maine specifics, the state of Maine, but they really do cover some things that I thought would be important for you all to listen to and just get a different perspective on. But while you're watching that, I want you to kind of take some note on some of your thoughts on what he says about student knowledge, assessment, and self-monitoring. I want you to be just kind of cognizant of your feelings as you're going through there. What things struck you as a surprise? What things made you resist a little bit? But just be really honest as you are reading, and of course I'm watching this video. I want to know what your aha was throughout the lecture video. What will you take away and steal and use, or what do you disagree with? So that is your lecture materials, and if I hit next here, it's going to bring us to our reflection. One single spaced typed page, you're answering these questions. How does, I'm backing up here. In your reflection, discuss what items through the reading and through the talk made you reflect on your past experiences as a student in the social studies classroom. What experiences did you have that you can look back now and think, oh, that was a really strongly planned lesson, or wow, they were really flying by the seat of their pants. And then how does that affect who you're going to become as a future educator? What ideas in the lecture materials did you find that you'll take with you in the future, and what challenges are you going to give yourself moving forward in terms of planning your classroom? I want to challenge you to think, I'm not planning. True educators can really just spin it straight from their heart, and no, I want you to really think, okay, I'm being challenged to plan for the future and think and really kind of wrestle on what's best in the classroom for my students. And so you're just going to type up a single spaced reflection for that and submit it right there. That is due Sunday by midnight, and it was, I believe, the 29th. If you go back, you can see. Oh, no, it was the 5th, September 5th. The next one, what went wrong class discussion. So I kind of throw up an instance here where you have a wonderful idea. Driving in, I'm not going to do a lecture. I'm going to have the students partake in small group work. And it kind of breaks it down for you there. But because it wasn't properly planned for, everyone has questions. As soon as you tell the kids to get started, you have tons of questions. How many words does it have to be? How long? We can't decide what to say. We can't agree on what to say. We have nothing to say. And the comments go on and on. So I want you to reflect, what could this person or yourself have done differently to set up this activity to make sure that it was more successful and it met its full potential in your classroom? Has something happened like this to you in the past, or have you had a successful experience, kind of the opposite of this in the past, and what made it so successful? So we're just going to kind of share stories and our opinion in this discussion. Your first post will happen by Wednesday by midnight, and then you're going to respond to 2 other classmates by Sunday. Your initial post will give you the 5 points, and then your responses afterwards both will add up to 2.5 and 2.5, which will add up to the 5, which will combined give you your 10 points. Okay. Our next thing here is our classroom application. So I've given you a couple websites for you to look into. Let's say you've gone through all of those and you can't find anything you like. That's fine. Investigate other websites on your own that you think that you could pull a resource from. What I don't want you doing is writing a lesson plan or a unit. If you're an option 6 candidate, go ahead and you can even pull something that you have used in the past. I'm okay with that. But what you're going to do is you're going to identify a concept that was covered in the text and a concept that was covered in the video lecture, and you're going to cite both of those. Hey, I saw, I read about this in the text on page this number, and I saw in the lecture at this little minute these 2 things, and those are represented in my unit. Or you can even say, I read about this in the text, and I think it should be added into this to improve it. And or I watched this and it was at this exact minute and I think it should be added in. So you can go either ways. What I want to see is that you're taking that text and that video and applying it to real life. Because if we're just reading things and watching things and we don't know how to reflect and pull it into our practice, then it's kind of useless. You are just going to copy the link of the lesson that you are reflecting on, looking at, adding to, and then you're just going to tell me, identify the concepts that were discussed in text and video, what you would add, or what you have identified. And again, that is due September 5th at midnight. Here's a breakdown of everything you've had to do. Your reflection. These should say 2s. I just picked that up. Your reflection, your discussion, and your classroom application. If you have any questions, please let me know. We can meet, we can chat on the phone, or we can meet over Zoom. I am excited to continue to read your discussions and your reflections, and I am looking forward to continuing this class with y'all.